But if I use all of my skills here, I have about 1,400 health, which is plenty. So all we have to do is go past that big horde of shit, they found me, how? Yeah, and this last bit is hard because there are these spirits come out of nowhere, griffins and stuff, and the spirits all try and knock you down. They use this thing here called Signet of Judgment, and that is a real annoying one. I'm using balanced stance here, as you can see, which keeps me standing up, even when they try and knock me down. Without that, they are just so difficult to get past. And they'll be popping up in the middle of nowhere, more undead, as we continue through the mountains here, and they're a bit of a pain in my ass. But mostly it's the stone summit I'm worried about. Anyway, that was that little bit of a run. We're here at Camp Rankor. I'll just come in, read the description. There's not much to do here really other than that. It seems to me that as you get further through the games there's less side quests, less stuff to do. I don't know whether that's because ArenaNet thought that players would only do the side quests for the experience to get to level 20, or whether they just ran out of time in production and started rushing it towards the end. I don't know, maybe it was a combination of both those things, but for that reason mostly these last few episodes are going to probably go quite quickly. As I said, we are getting quite close to the end of the Let's Play. It might take a while for me to get it out because the missions are exceedingly difficult, and I've been trying a lot to figure out how to do these next ones. A lot of effort has been going into these ones ever since the Thirsty River to figure them out. But as far as the amount of videos that actually do come, I reckon maybe we're 20 away, 30 tops. Anyway, Camp Rankor. Named after the Stone Summit dwarf Rankor Ironwill, who was known for his extreme intolerance of other races, Camp Rankor has its immoral beginnings as a slave labour camp. Although it is still used to house some of its slaves, the summit used it largely as a staging area for launching raids against the Deldrimor dwarves. So yeah, this outpost is actually an area, you can tell again by the architecture, an area that the Stone Summit use. Quite cool. All these big metal, all this iron and stuff just slapped together. Mostly, as I said before, people come here. There's some cool skills you can get here, but mostly people come here when they're getting runs through. There's the snake dance. You can see the other explorable area through that gate on the other side. Anyway, let's go back to Dropner's Forge. I'm just doing this for completion's sake, really. Just since we've been to, there's only one outpost I haven't been to, and that was one in Pre-Searing Ascalon. That's the only place that I didn't go to. So considering that, I kind of just want to hit all of them. So the next outpost we're going to is through the other explorable area you can reach in Dropner's Forge, called Whitman's Folly. This place is an area that the Gruul love. It's kind of the homeland of the Gruul in the southern Shiver Peaks, I guess you could say. They're quite interesting as well. When you load into the area, you'll see here, these two Gruul here, I'm not sure what they're meant to be. Oh, there's only one. There were two here before. Huh. Alright, well this guy won't even try and fight us, he just seems to be running this way. Of course, usually I wouldn't be able to move this fast and keep up with him, but I think you're just meant to follow him, because eventually he runs into a huge group of Gruul just up here. Who are quite annoying and dangerous. But I mean, as far as I go, because I'm eating red rock candy now, whenever I'm running around, a lot of the enemies, especially melee enemies, they're just not even going to try and attempt to hit me. Sometimes they'll try and chase me a little bit, but then they'll just run back straight up. You can see there. So I mean, it's only really it's been the same the whole way through the Let's Play, really. It's spellcasters that are the things I've got to watch out for. And especially the Stone Summit, their mesmers are just, they're horrible. That's why I'm going to start using Shadow Form, because with Shadow Form, spellcasters aren't a problem, because they try and cast spells and it fails. The only problem with using Shadow Form is that it costs a lot of energy to use, especially as a warrior. I don't have as much energy regeneration as the other professions, so I can't have Shadow Form up for indefinitely. I'm always losing too much energy to keep it up forever, so that still puts a bit of pressure onto me, and I do have to learn how long I can go before I need to find a safe spot to regenerate my energy, and then I can go again. Kind of like finding a moment to breathe, if you will. Anyway, so we're out on these big icy plains. The Deldrimor have these ships that go across all all the frozen lakes and stuff. We'll see more of them soon. And this next outpost we're going to is a port for those. And you can see some of the pools already here. It's just there. It's called Port Sledge. Again, no real reason to come here unless you wanted a specific skill that was available here, or you just wanted to come here for completion's sake. Of course, if you start chasing titles and stuff, which is what most people sadly start to do, myself included, you're only going to come here for titles and things. But other than that, again, there are some unique skills that you can get here. And yeah, let's read the description, and we're ready to go to the first mission. Port Sledge. This bustling port supplies the dwarves with much of their goods and supplies. The dock workers are kept busy with a constant flow of ships coming and going, and the market is always filled with both exotic and practical wares. The cold temperatures, heavy snowfall, and frozen waters make no difference to the hardy dwarves, but travellers are wise to bring heavy coats and plenty of warm blankets. So that's that. Some of the ice ships, actually, I might as well show you. I like this outpost. I kind of like the outposts that are always empty and there's not much to do there. That's one of the ice ships. Oh, this is no, that is ice. Is that ice? Or is that water? It's not rippling, so I think it is ice. Anyway, that's one of their ice ships, and we'll be boarding one of those soon enough. Yeah, there we go. Let's go back to Drachna's Forge. And we'll get our primary quest. This is actually the only primary quest in the whole of the southern Shiver Peaks. And similarly, in the final chapter of the game, the one that I consider to be the final chapter, we'll only get one quest ever. Anyway, here's Captain Hugo Bronzebeard. He's got a scout next to him. Mind leaning down a bit so I can hear you. Good friend of mine, blah blah blah. The White Mantles and their masters are all over this mountain. Watch yourself out there. My youngest daughter was killed by the stone summit. Anyway, the Mastart have taken Thunderhead Keep. Jarlis ordered my scouts, Korg and Onar, ahead to learn what they can, and to find the one the ancient texts call the Seer. It is said that he can fashion a set of armour capable of protecting one against the Mastart's magic. Most likely a tale told over a flagon of ale, but in these times, who knows? I expected a report by now. Something must have held them up. I'd feel better if you went after them. I'll see what I can find out. Okay, so Thunderhead Keep, after the Civil War broke out, I think Drachna's Forge was no longer their capital city, because you know, the nation was no longer united, and I believe the Deldrimore dwarves then went to named Thunderhead Keep their capital, and the Mastart are now there, and also we're looking for something called a Seer that can help us with armour to protect us against their magic. In Saul's story, you remember we got that skill, Spectral Agony, and I said it was quite a cool devastating skill. That is what the Mastart will be using on us now, and I'll show it to you how powerful it is when we do finally come against some. So anyway, let's go into Talu Shoot. Figure out where we're going. So we're going north a little bit. So there's some Stone Summit just there. Stone Summit and Ashes. Use my red rock. And more there. There's Korg, one of the scouts that guy wanted. So these Stone Summit won't actually slow me down. I don't really mind the necromancers, they're not a problem to me. But it's the mesmers that are quite annoying. This guy's surrounded. Okay, Korg, hello. Old Bronzebeard sent you? Too cold out in the woods for that lazy man? He used to be a ranger just like the rest of us. Jarlis gives him a title and he thinks it's right to sit by the fire and enjoy a pint. Have I found anything? I don't know, you tell me. Nope, Jarlis has sent me to find the Seer. The old stories say that he can fashion magical armour to protect us from those Mastart. I hope they are true. Even the Stone Summit have been driven from their minds. We sent Rornak to scout out the ice caves of sorrow. Knowing him, he's been caught by now. Okay, so Rornak is a dwarf who we would have, if I'd been doing the bonuses, we would have met him quite a lot already. in bonuses of previous missions in the mountains, but because I haven't, we've missed out on that. But we'll go find him. And yeah, as you may have realised, the White Mantle aren't any more a friend of the Stone Summit or the Deldrimor Dwarves than we are. So this is quite an interesting chapter, really. I can imagine it would have been quite cool if you know, maybe it was in an action game or something, because now it's not just us, but it's not just the Shining Blade versus the White Mantle and the Massart. It's us caught up in the middle of another civil war, and everyone's kind of fighting everyone, and you see that quite clearly in this next mission we're headed to now, which is just round the corner at the Ice Caves of Sorrow. So now we seem to have two objectives. One's to find this seer, and one's to find out where Avinia and Saida are and tell them what the hell's going on. Okay, Onar, this is the other scout. Hello there! We've had enough activity as of late with all the Stone Summit being driven from their mines. Rornak sent out before us. He should be into the ice caves by now. What can I do for you? Seeking the seer. Korg mentioned a seer, eh? I've heard all the stories and I don't believe them all, truth be told. More importantly, the Shining Blade's leader, Avinia, has been captured by the White Mantle. We're working with them to free her. Whoever would have thought that the Deldrimor would ally with the Crichton rebels? Strange days indeed. Blade Scout Shelby is up ahead. She'll have a report for you. Okay, so let's go up, find Blade Scout Shelby. Sembagorax. What an awesome name. Okay, so these are the Ice Caves of Sorrow. This is the first mission in the Southern Shiver Peaks. Okay, so this is the outpost. We're looking for Blade Scout Shelby, who's just up here. Hello, Shelby. Shelby says, "Welcome, hero. Sent by the king himself, no less. Here is compensation for your journey. We are too few to march against the unseen masters of the White Mantle. The dwarves insist on finding some ancient spellcaster they claim is a seer. I appreciate their help, but fear this is a fool's errand. Avinia would help us more than some old man and his dusty spells. Ice Caves of Sorrow, indeed." So, here's one of the first Shining Blade we've seen for a long time. I'm not sure if that's someone we've met before. I recognise the name, but that could just be because I recognise it from here. Huh, maybe I should have checked the wiki. Well, there you go, that's Blade Scout Shelby. Let's read the outpost description before we go on in. Ice Caves of Sorrow. The area surrounding this dwarven city is dotted with numerous icy caverns that, when the wind whips through them, makes a mournful sound reminiscent of a crying woman. Waterways, frozen solid year-round, wind through the land here, but the resourceful dwarves have found a way to navigate them by building large ships that skate atop the ice. So, that's pretty cool. Before we go in, there's just two things I wanted to do. First was to recap the previous mission by reading about Glint's lair in our journal, the Flameseeker Prophecies. So, the Dragon's Lair. I passed the trials of Glint's defences and gained an audience with the Prophet. She recited the Flameseeker Prophecies and told me that she believed I was the true chosen who would ultimately bring about the fall from power of the Unseen Ones, who were not gods at all, but a powerful race of spellcasters called the Massart. I learned that the White Mantle also knew of the prophecies and had been seeking out and killing all of the chosen because they knew one posed a dire threat to their Massart masters. Glint also told me that the treachery of Marcus was not complete, that he planned to sacrifice my Shining Blade comrades on a bloodstone in the Southern Shiver Peaks. Glint's final service to me was to open a portal close to my friends, so I might rescue them from certain death. Okay, so here we are, we're now at Shelby, who's helping us do exactly that. We still don't know why they're sacrificing people on the Bloodstones, but as I said before, it will become clear. Anyway, Blade Scout Shelby, you are a sight for sore eyes. We didn't think, none of us. When you didn't return from Sanctum K, we thought the worst. What brings you here? Well, I made it back, just in time it seems. Thank Dwayne, your arrival must be the work of the gods. Why, what's happened? Haven't you heard? Things have not gone well for the Shining Blade. The White Mantle were led to the Henge of Den Ravi. They snuck in through the Allen River at midnight and took us by surprise. The Allen River is the dark river, if you remember, that we sailed up. Gods, where are the survivors? There aren't many. Those who managed to escape have scattered all over the Shiver Peaks, but the White Mantle have pursued us. Many have been captured, Saidra and Ivinia included. The Mantle took Ivinia's ship off of Sanctum K. When they followed the rest of the blades into the mountains, they brought her up here. Rumour has it there is another bloodstone up here in the mountain peaks. This was Marcus's fault, wasn't it? Yes, he was the one who led the White Mantle to Den Ravi. Now he helps them in their effort to hunt down and exterminate the rest of us. Only those lucky enough to make it to Drockner's Forge have managed to escape capture. So far the Mantle have been entangled equally with the Stone Summit as they have with the Deljamor Dwarves. They make progress to the Forge every day, but fortunately for us, the Shiver Peaks are treacherous and it's taken them time to get here. What must I do? Make your way up to where the White Mantle have Ivinia and Saidra held. If you can break them out, perhaps we can reorganize and once again take the fight to the Mantle. Their captivity ends today. Swift be your journey, my friend. May the gods protect you. Okay, so that's the lowdown, that's what's going on. Let's go free our friends. Oh, I will change my build and then click enter mission, and I'll see you just as we start the mission and explain exactly what I'm doing, because this is where things start to reach a pretty high difficulty level. So see you in a bit.